Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. Today I want to talk about something interesting that I'm sure we all have done at some point is growing cuttings in water. So the first one is a cutting growing is of a philodendron, and the cutting is almost 2 years old. I started growing it in January 2019 or 2020. Yeah, January 2020, and it has survived, it has maintained itself, it produces new growth. You see there is a tiny new leaf coming out, and the cutting is healthy, but the roots, they become rotten from time to time, so I have to keep removing the rotten ends. Whereas if you see, this plant, this is a regular money plant, and you see that there are a lot more rotten bits to these cuttings. So I use filtered water. I change the water regularly, but the cuttings, they are all right. They don't have the most amazing growth. Whereas, have a look at this philodendron. Now let me tell you something. I'm being 100% honest with you that these two cuttings are of the same plant which I planted at the same time. I hope you'll believe what I'm saying. So, these cuttings were gifted to me by a friend, and I took half of the cuttings and I planted it into soil. It took some time. The transition was not easy, it took a lot of time, but it finally settled, and lately it has produced so much new growth. The plant is so full. You see that the aerial roots, they are amazing during the monsoon. You know how Mumbai monsoon is, so you see how long the aerial roots have become, and the plant has produced so many new leaves, so many nodes. It has really become bushy. Whereas on the right you see the same cutting from the same plant, and look how the growth is. I really wanted to share the thing that how cuttings respond, how plants survive, how they grow when we plant them in water versus how we plant them in the soil. So I think that putting the cuttings in water is really good initially. When the cuttings, they develop roots and all, I think then it's nice that we transfer them into soil or cocoa peat, so that the plant can turn bushier and bigger, right? And then of course we can further propagate them. So here I'm just trying to finally plant these cuttings into cocoa peat. And since philodendron, it likes moisture, it enjoys moisture, and it's so easy to grow, so I'm just gonna be planting these two cuttings into some cocoa peat. And I took some organic compost, and with that I added cocoa peat, and I have just planted these cuttings into these tiny soil containers, these earthen pots. So yeah, I think I personally like this technique that I first take the cuttings, I plant them in water, and you see how these tiny nodes pop up. That's when the cutting starts producing a new node, a new leaf. So I think that's the perfect time in which we can transfer them from water to soil. So I hope you like the video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. If you have a separate technique, a different technique that you apply for propagating your cuttings, or how do you keep your cuttings healthy as they grow in water, please share them with me, because I would really like to know how you people grow your cuttings in water, or how your experience has been growing the cuttings in water. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video, this comparison, because for me, I was just waiting for the longest time to make this video to show how both the cuttings over the course of 2 years responded, grew, and behaved. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed the video.